Welcome to Podkey NFL, where camp storylines and contract drama are already colliding. A defensive tackle gets paid, and suddenly half the league has to rethink what elite interior defenders cost. At the same time, camps are dealing with injuries, quarterback uncertainty, and the annual reminder that one weird report can turn into a whole false narrative fast. The biggest financial shift right now is Jalen Carter resetting the defensive tackle market. The exact reporting on the structure varies, but the common thread is clear. His deal blows past the old top of the market, with huge guarantees and annual money that pushes elite interior linemen into the league's top non-quarterback pay tier. That matters beyond one player, because it narrows the gap between dominant interior defenders and premium edge rushers, and it forces teams to make tougher cap decisions. If you have a great defensive tackle coming up for a deal, you're not negotiating in the old world anymore. That brings us right to Vita Vea, who formally requested a trade after learning he's making about $17 million a year and feeling underpaid compared with the new market. The Buccaneers don't seem eager to move him. The more likely paths people are talking about are either a one-year raise into top 5 defensive tackle money, or Tampa simply betting that a 31-year-old interior lineman won't get a monster long-term offer elsewhere. Analysts still put the odds of an actual trade below about 35%, mostly because any team trading for him would need to give up real capital and then immediately pay him. There's also the preference angle. Vea reportedly wants a West Coast or California destination, which narrows the picture a little, and some teams may prefer shorter veteran deals instead of a major long-term commitment. Dallas keeps floating around these conversations too. Max Crosby rumors stay alive anytime Jerry Jones starts publicly poking at the roster, and the point there isn't depth. If the Cowboys did something like that, it would be a real headline move. People are also connecting Dallas to Vea, because the roster still looks thin at defensive end and along the front, and a major addition would signal that the Cowboys are trying to get back to an aggressive all-in posture instead of nibbling around the edges. Tampa has another contract question sitting right next to the Vea one, and that's Baker Mayfield. The reporting says Mayfield would be comfortable playing next season on the franchise tag, which could land somewhere around $45 to $50 million. From the team's perspective, that would keep control without making a long-term promise they may not be ready to make. And you can understand why this is tricky. Baker has had very good stretches, but he's also been streaky, banged up at times, and hard to project over the long haul. A great year could earn him a big extension. A rough one could swing him back towards short-term bridge quarterback territory. Quarterback competitions are still messy in a few places, and camp reps are going to matter a lot. The Raiders have the veteran versus rookie tension with Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza, where the public tone may lean veteran, while the private evaluation keeps tracking whether the rookie can force the timeline. The Vikings have their own uncertainty with Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy in the mix. And the Falcons' picture is also unsettled with Tua Tagovailoa tied to Gardner Minshew and Michael Penix scenarios. Around the league, teams are handling rookie quarterbacks very differently. Some are trying to buy time with veterans. Some are more open to an accelerated switch. And one good preseason week can scramble a carefully managed plan. Then you have the other side of it, where contract structure can basically settle the question. Jacoby Brissett in Arizona is viewed as more secure because of how his deal is built, while a young player like Caleb Williams is getting very specific developmental targets, including a 70% completion goal from his staff. This is the part of the summer every team hates, and it's already here. Tua Tagovailoa is dealing with a back flare. Saints defensive tackle Brian Breezy suffered a torn ACL. Packers tight end Luke Musgrave has a serious neck injury, and Bengals rookie Shamar Stewart had a nasty camp injury that immediately raises depth questions. The ripple effects are different team to team. Some clubs are adding veterans right away, like the Falcons bringing in Cooper Rush. Others are making harder roster calls, including Trevor Siemian being released with an NFI designation. A lot of teams are also trying to survive this phase with internal flexibility, cross-training linemen, shifting roles, and checking every possible free agent option. If your depth was already thin at edge, interior defensive line, or tight end, camp can expose it in a hurry. Cleveland is a good example of a team trying to protect itself by investing in strengths and building flexibility. The Browns doubled down on the defense with Denzel Ward getting a 2-year, $62 million deal, and Grant Delpit landing a 3-year, $48 million extension. That's a clear signal that they want the secondary to remain a defining feature of the roster. Up front on offense, they're cross-training aggressively. Tyler Smith has worked at left tackle. Tyler Booker has taken center reps, and the goal there is pretty straightforward. Find the best 5-man combination and make sure one injury doesn't wreck the whole structure. The Chiefs got encouraging news with Patrick Mahomes, reportedly cleared for day 1 of camp, about 8 months after his December knee injury. Kansas City is expected to be smart about it, with more focus early on pocket movement and quick reaction work, and probably lighter preseason usage while the offense makes smaller tweaks instead of some giant overhaul. Then there is the completely different kind of update involving Kyle Shanahan, who had to publicly correct the record after admitting he dropped his phone while driving. That changed the early version of the story, which had blamed another driver because of a clerical error. Shanahan reportedly suffered a concussion, a broken nose, a broken hand, and 3 broken ribs. And it became one more reminder of how fast a bad initial report can harden into accepted truth when a famous name is attached. Speaking of famous names, Aaron Donald comeback rumors are back because of workout footage and the simple fact that people never really stop wondering with players like that. He's 35. He retired last year, and none of this means a return is imminent. But analysts keep pointing to how productive he still was in 2023. With 8 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, and strong pressure numbers for the position. So even if we're only talking about a limited snap version of Donald, people understandably look at the Rams and think, yeah, that would still matter a lot. A few broader roster themes are taking shape too. Seattle keeps coming up as one of the more talented rosters overall, and both the Seahawks and Rams are being talked about as teams whose identity may lean as much on defense and special teams as on flashy offense. For the Rams in particular, the special teams aggression under Bubba Ventrone is being treated as a real edge, not a trivia note. If health holds, that kind of identity can absolutely support a deep playoff run. And then there are the younger players who can swing perception fast. Names like Will Campbell, Matthew Golden, Terrence Ferguson, and Travis Hunter keep showing up because teams are trying to figure out how quickly upside becomes real production. Even the all-under-25 debates tell you something. People don't just disagree on talent. They disagree on scheme fit, injury risk, positional value, and what kind of quarterback profile actually ages best. All of this sits underneath some real pressure for coaches and front offices. Todd Bowles is dealing with scrutiny after defensive regression in Tampa. Zach Taylor and other staffers around the league don't have much margin for error, and several general managers are heading into what feels like a prove-it season. Chris Ballard in Indianapolis and Arizona's Monty Ossenfort are among the names tied to that kind of make-or-break conversation, where this season has to show real progress in roster building, development, and results. That's the camp picture right now on Podkey NFL. Expensive defensive tackles, fragile depth charts, and a lot of people trying to buy certainty before September proves they never really had it. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch up again soon. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.
Podkey.